Continuing on about sociopaths and psychopaths. Sociopaths and psychopaths make 5% of the world's population, and they are assisted by 10% of the world's population who are the morally corrupt. People who, regardless of what they know to be right or wrong, will assist in return for some sort of financial or otherwise material gain. Now, we have to look at how this 15% is affecting the world's population. For every action, there has to be an equal and opposite reaction. But if there isn't, then the world does not retain balance. And as we see, good people seem to be getting less and less every day. So if we say 15% are utterly rotten and 15% are good, that leaves 70% of the world's population which is neither here or there. These people, although they know the difference between right and wrong, moral and immoral, will put their judgment and their convictions aside in return for some sort of favour. So when you think about it, that means 85% of the world's population can be counted as rotten or potentially rotten. Now, we have to ask ourselves, looking at the moral standards of today's societies around the world, how are these people reproducing? So you got 5% sociopaths, psychopaths, 10% are their assistants, but they do so for some sort of perceived financial gain, or actual financial gain and actual power in return, in terms of, over societies, especially those which they live in. So the 70% whose moral judgment is prone to be bought or at least hired, it's, how is it that what you call the evil 15% are impacting into the 70%? We have to look at how these people reproduce. Now, the only thing, it's not the only thing, we have the likes of TV, media, which, if you've got the money, you can pay people to get on TV and say anything you want, regardless of how immoral or ridiculous it is. I look at it this way. Considering that sociopaths and psychopaths actually think that everyone else is like them, but they're just not aware of it, we see it in the same manner as HIV. Sociopaths and psychopaths behave the way they do because they believe everyone is the same as them, but because they are not enlightened, they will never be equal. So with HIV, it doesn't reproduce of its own accord. What it does is a HIV cell will target healthy cells within the bloodstream, particularly white blood cells as I understand it. It'll catch onto them and inject its, the proper term is RNA, but we might look at it as DNA, into the hijacked cell, which then becomes exactly like the HIV cell. if you look at it, with what sociopaths, psychopaths do. Now, I stand by it that most sociopaths and most psychopaths are in fact pedophiles. How do pedophiles reproduce? Well, you got those who are either born sociopath or psychopath, but when they molest children, in some cases, those children, when they grow up to be adults, will become pedophiles themselves because the sexual abuse they have endured has corrupted their souls, has corrupted their sense of right and wrong. And this is exactly what we see in psychopaths. Psychopaths are corrupted souls, and sociopaths never had a soul. And they are both, by their own actions, alienated from God. It's a disease. Christian Science calls it animal magnetism. The American Indians call Wetiko, where you see the groupthink of psychological illness transmitted by psychological means. And as I said, we can see this through our TV screens. Turn on the TV, you've got cops and robbers shows, and now shows where pedophiles, serial killers are acceptable anti-heroes. And people lap this up, and it's become acceptable. We can see in the sexual morals, or I should say lack of them, in today's world. We got 5-year-old boys declaring themselves to be transgender. And their stupid parents allow them to go to school dressed up as little girls. And we also have this situation where guys, happily married all their lives, then when they're about 50, 55 or older, suddenly say, "Oh, I'm gay," because what they saw on TV. It's a type of hypnotism. You've got guys of various ages, straight their whole lives, then they cut their dicks off and say, "Oh, but I'm a woman now." And you ask them why. They can't honestly answer you. The whole thing, get your dick cut off, become a woman, is completely false. Your DNA does not change. And these guys who get their dicks cut off still prefer to have sex with women. So you can't say that it is a gay thing. And you've got to ask, why is this all happening now? And it's, what people see on TV. One pervert gets on TV, and then some do-gooder, 2-bit celebrity looking for publicity says, "Oh yeah, I agree with him. He's a woman." And then everybody else wants to get in on the act. And I'm wondering, are people's minds and their convictions so fragile that they can just bend by turning on a TV? It can only be some sort of hypnotism, and it's not even entertaining hypnotism. So there's nothing to compel people to watch a TV program and just say, "Oh well, it's on TV, it must be true. This is what we must do." And It's kind of hard to describe what you're seeing. These things are organised, these sorts of programs are generated with specific interests in mind, specific, missions, so to speak. And yet people just fall for it. So if you say 5% are just born bad, 10% are just mercenaries, the 70% are slowly being whittled away into what you'd call the evil 15%. And it's just like HIV. It infects you. It doesn't hit you overnight, but eventually it will kill you. What we see now will kill this earth. Because sociopaths, psychopaths, the mercenaries who serve them, do not see things in terms of moral or immoral. They see everything as amoral. What's true for you is true for you, what's true for me is true for me, if it serves my own personal interest. It is a type of, I say sociopathocracy. But what is the ideology behind it? Yes, I could give you a simple explanation saying, well, it's work of Satan, whether it be Moloch or Lucifer. But the ideology behind it, the sociopathocracy, which is coming into being, is solipsism. Everybody thinks that everyone else on this earth, in this world, is imaginary. This is everything they dreamed up. If they can't explain it, it's just an unknown. But they believe they are God. They believe everything that exists around you is within their mind. And it is a rip-off. I see rip-offs of Christianity and the work of Christ Jesus. I see rip-offs of Christian Science. It's as though these people have cherry-picked through all religions to justify to themselves what they actually perceive as reality. It's, well, I've just made this clip, just to get a few points across. But we are going to have to look at how we can counteract this. If you want to keep this earth in this world, you've got no choice. There's the usual, oh well, someone's got to do something about that. That doesn't apply anymore. Bystanders and onlookers, they've made themselves surplus to the world's population. You either believe in something or you believe in nothing. And we can see with sociopaths, psychopaths, we can see the increase in pedophilia. We can see the increase in atheism, which is infecting all societies and all reproducing the same way.